Welcome, everyone. Okay, all right, there we go. So today we will be making empanadas. The three celebrity chefs, like they call us, we're all from Argentina, and so we will be cooking the Argentinian version, or the version that we are used to eating back home. So I don't know if you were able to take a look at the list of instructions, but we will be using empanada dough. And this is basically the crust that we will be using. And we will be making different types of empanadas. And then basically with an empanada, you can take the empanada dough and then you can fill it with anything that you like to eat normally. Or if you have, stuff in your fridge and you want to just, throw them together, you can do that. But today we're going to make three versions. The first version is with beef, and we use ground beef for this, and onions. And I believe that was one of the recipes, the list of ingredients that we had sent. And the key to making beef empanadas, or any empanadas that have beef or onions in them, is that you have to cook the meat and the onions ahead of time and let them sit for a little bit. So what we have organized for you today is that we're going to start. I'm going to show you how I cook the beef and the onions, and then I'm going to turn it over to Magali, who will be cooking from her own kitchen. She will show you how to make the cheese and ham empanadas while the beef and the onions cool a little bit. And then we will be assembling the beef empanadas after she's done showing you how to make the ham and cheese ones. All right, so to start, you need, you can use any oil you want. I use olive oil to saute my onions. So you can start your pot with a little bit of olive oil and add the onions there and saute them until they're golden brown. So let me do that. I'll be right back.
And while she is adding the oil, I would also like to mention, if you are currently seeing everybody's small screen and you'd like to change your view, in the top right hand corner, there is a view button and you can select the speaker, and that will
different types of dough. Find a supermarket and which ones are better and which ones.
So while the oil is...
And where you can find them also.
Yeah, while the oil is warming up, good point that Mauro was mentioning. Usually I buy the empanada dough at Tropicana. Sometimes Walmart has it, but not always. So Tropicana, if you don't know, it's a supermarket that is on Memorial. It's across from the airport, kind of. And you can find different types. One of the types that you can find is the one that I'm using now. They changed the packaging. It used to be red and blue, and now it's kind of like this with a little bit of light blue there. The key, or what I like about them, is that they're the ones for baking, okay? There's one variety that is actually made either for frying or baking, and another variety that is made for just frying. And if you can't find another type, you have to use the ones for frying or baking. Know that the dough is going to be less flaky and a little bit more, a little bit drier in a sense.
They come out drier.
Yeah, they come out a little bit drier than if you use this one, because this is actually puff pastry, as you can see. All right. Okay, so the onions are there. They're cooking slowly. Mauro will be.
The cover from.
Mauro will be stirring them.
Laura, it's Bill. I have a question for you.
Yes.
So what's the brand that you use for the empanadas?
I use Goya.
And you think that's the best brand that's your favorite?
This is my favorite. And let me show you the other variety. Hold on.
That's the name.
This is the variety that they usually have at Tropicana, and then you can see here it says for baking or frying. These are okay, but if we can find the ones that say puff pastry just for baking, these are the ones that I prefer. Magali is showing the previous version of the ones with puff pastry. This is the new packaging, but either one works. So while I'm sauteing the onions, what I will do next is take the onions out, put the ground beef in, and then saute that. And then I usually use, for the beef ones, I use a little bit of salt. I use smoked paprika and anything else you like. Sometimes I add a little bit of garlic powder to them if I feel like adding that. You can add pepper. You can just season any way you want. The key though is to add smoked paprika because that makes a big difference. But as you're cooking the beef, you can add the seasoning and then let it cook. And then when you're done with that, you can just take it out and let it sit for a while until the beef cools down. Because what happens is that if you try to fill them with the beef while it's warm, or hot, right? It's gonna make the dough really, I don't know, hard to then put them together. So you wanna let the beef cool off and the onions a little bit cool off, yeah, because it's gonna get soggy. But while I'm finishing that with the onions and everything, I'm gonna pass it on to Magali, who's already connected. She's gonna show you how to make the ones that you can make with ham and cheese. It's really easy and quick. And so she'll show you that while I finish the beef. Thank you.
Hey everybody, how are you? So to do the ham and cheese is pretty easy, but I do it in a couple of ways. And the whole thing, or the difficulty here, is that sometimes they kind of explode in the oven. So the goal is to try to conceal it in a way that it just cooks quickly the dough and it keeps the things inside. So I'll show you a couple of tricks with you. So for that, we use this type of mozzarella. In Argentina, we have different types of cheeses, but so this is kind of the one I found, or we found, that is the best. So it's a mozzarella, and you get it normally on the aisle on any Harry's Theater or whatever, on the, where the salami is, and it's always like this. So we're gonna cut some pieces of it, and we're gonna wrap the ham, well, the cheese in the ham. So it gets like a little packet and it's easier to, and I'm gonna show what I'm gonna do, right? The whole thing is also with the cheese, with the cheese of empanadas, is to have the oven a little bit higher than what you would have with the other type of empanadas, like either chicken or meat. So this one has to go into about 395 degrees, Fahrenheit. And so what I'm doing here is I'm cutting little squares of cheese, okay? And I have my empanadas here, right? So ready. And what I also have is normally, sorry, I'm getting out of picture, is some egg, okay? Some egg that I'm gonna actually keep the white in there, because I'm gonna show you a trick when we don't have this square cheese, this cheese, and we have the other type, the one that is already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one disc. Sometimes it depends on the discs or batch. Some of them are a little broken. So I'm going to just take one that is not. Okay. So I have my dough. I extend it a little bit like this. And I'm going to get one piece of the ham. Ham, whatever you like. It just could be Virginia, could be a smoked ham, whichever. I'm gonna take the piece here. And so I'm gonna rub one of these, just like a little packet, like this, okay? And I'm gonna put it in the middle, like this. And this comes, you can take it off the little plastic, or I use it in any case. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip my fingers, which are clean, right, in there and get it wet a little bit. I close it. Once I close it, so my goal with having the little packet inside is to keep it kind of up, because I'm gonna just sit them on the back of the empanada. I'm not gonna lay it. I'm just gonna hold it like this. You close it, right? And what I want, actually, because it's a cheese, is to keep it straight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit them like this, kind of like the dumpling, right? Of the Chinese dumplings, especially with when it's the cheese. So then I make the little folding, but I'm gonna show you with the other one. If you don't know how to do this one, you can use a fork. So my goal is that I'll keep it standing. And I'm gonna put it in my parchment here, and one is done. I just will sit it like here, and then I'm gonna brush it with some of the egg and put it in the oven. Now what happens when we don't have this block? It's okay. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some, what I do is I cut my ham like this. And I put some ham and some cheese together in my bowl. I'll show you a bowl in a minute. Okay. Depends on the cheese you use. I'm using mozzarella, that it actually is not too, it's kind of mild in flavor, right? You can have mozzarella and Monterey Jack or something like that. But today I have this one and it's okay. Like I said, my hands are clean. So I put some ham and some cheese together, blend it. Let me get a fork.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So with the ham that you use, and I know that you mentioned with just Virginia, and is there any type of ham that you go to at the grocery store that's close to an Argentinian variety that you may use?
Well, the one I like to use particularly is the boar's head just cooked ham. I like that, or the tavern ham. Those
Okay.
are my two favorites. So those are just the two that I choose. The tavern ham, it has a little bit more flavor than the cooked ham, but it depends. It's kind of like a balance. If you're gonna use a mozzarella that is kind of soft and mild, probably you want maybe to put a Black Forest ham to kind of bring that flavor a little bit. So
Sure.
it's trying to adjust, the flavors to what, and try it out, and it will depend on whatever everybody likes. So because the mozzarella is not too salty. Other cheeses are more. If you put a Monterey Jack with it, it's a little bit saltier. Sometimes you can buy quesadilla mixtures, and they have different cheeses, so they are a little saltier. But this one is not. So I'm gonna add a little bit, just a pinch of salt to it. And then, like Laura was saying, you can add spices. You can add a little bit of pepper. Now, the trick here is what I'm gonna do, because this one is not folded into the little packet, is I'm gonna add part of the egg I had. What you do is just mix it a little bit to make it foamy. You don't need to go into the brine or anything. You just mix it. And this will help to kind of avoid, you can do it a little bit more just for the sake of time or not. And what you're gonna, this is all gonna be cooked. So I would say about two egg whites per pound of cheese, okay? So I put less. But so it's gonna make it a little bit more wet, which is also helpful when you put it in the little bundle inside. So now we're kind of ready. So the goal here is to avoid the cheese to open the pastry and exploding in the oven. Hopefully we'll have, we're gonna be lucky. That has to do also with the temperature of the oven. It depends, and each oven is different. You have to try it a couple of times, but it's totally normal that they will explode. So what I do now is I put in the middle a little bit, right? And you again try it. Again, that type of, you can extend it. The pastry is elastic, so you can definitely add more and make it a little, it's just a question of, so in my egg or water, you can have the egg white or water, and you close it again. Now this time I'm not gonna do the repulgue, which is the name of that folding on the side. Sometimes it's easier, or you're not comfortable doing it. So what we're gonna do, put it flat. Again, my goal is to keep them standing, but to close it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a fork. I can do this. And around. The goal is to just make the parts.
Do you have a favorite way how you like to close? You use the
I like
fork,
it-
or do you?
No, I like it the other way, but in reality, it takes some practicing, and then you get frustrated. So I know this is easier. I don't like too much with this, because if you go too much, then you can pinch it, and then it's that time that it's gonna be opening. So you really want to kind of again keep them straight and up. So everything melts, but it's just gravity, right? It gets down like this. And so you have, this one was the one with the packet, and this one was the one with the, with the shredder. So when we put it in the oven, we'll see how they come up. Another thing, or another trick that you can do, is put a little bit of flour when you have the shredded cheese, and just a little bit, that helps the cheese kind of keep inside. Okay. So how are we, Laura, with the other parts? You have
So the beef is going, but I have some already prepared, so I can show some of the beef ones too.
I'm gonna keep doing the others. So
Okay, and I was gonna say, if you're cooking along, this might be a good time for you to turn the oven on and preheat it.
we normally do that before we do the empanadas. We put the oven on, so it's just getting ready. And so mine is still preheating.
I have a question about the empanada shells. So how many come into a pack? Is it?
Good question. They come, normally it's a dozen, just 12 units.
Okay. So if you don't use them all, how do you usually do you use them all, or can you store them again, close
Well,
up the packet?
yes, you can store them. It's pretty safe. That here in the US you get them frozen. Back in Argentina we get them fresh, and so then you can freeze them. But here you're unfreezing them, and so normally it's pretty. They are some. It has some work in there. So because it has some work, you just want to do 12 are eaten very very easily. So you probably will go through them. They are great the next day. So it's just things that 12, at least one packet, you're gonna go through it. If you have some left, you can put it in there, and probably for a couple of weeks they will be okay. But I would use it. I have my issues, and I will probably use it within the week.
Yeah,
I
I don't,
oh.
sorry, I don't refreeze them either. As Magali said, they come frozen and I don't like to refreeze. But if you run out of the ingredient that you prepared originally to fill them with, you can literally grab anything from your fridge and put it inside. We have some that are made with blue cheese back home. There's some that are made with tuna, corn.
Bacon and prunes and cheese is pretty good too. So you can make a caprese is actually with the basil
Tomato.
and tomatoes. So you can pretty much kind of do anything. The whole key is you have to get some practice, and then you know how to keep the cheese and the oven. So the first tries are gonna frustrate a little bit because you get some that are gonna be open in the oven. So expect that. Totally normal.
Yeah,
I have
and Lisa, oh, sorry, Lisa
Go
was
ahead.
asking about the temperature. And, oh, John, you're there, great. Lisa was asking about the oven temperature. I set it at 375 for my oven. It's gas, and I connected, I set it with the convect functionality of it. So I do convect 375. But you know your oven better, so you might need to set it at 350 or 325 depending on the oven. And you can set it at bake too, but I like convect better. Sorry, Bill, I interrupted you like 3 times. Go ahead.
No. I really like the idea with the ham and the cheese, but the two different ways. Do you cook them? Are they cooked the same amount of time?
Yes, even if it's shredder or the other piece.
Gotcha.
Now, again, it should be a little higher than 375. It's mostly towards 395 or 400. It should be okay. But if it's a really hot oven, you want to take it down a notch a bit.
Sure.
Yeah, and you can kind of like take a look and peek inside the oven as they're cooking and see if they're getting golden brown, if the dough is getting golden brown, because the ingredients that go inside are already pre-cooked. Then it's just a matter of cooking the dough. So I'm making some with ground beef that I had already cooked. So I kind of like cheated because I had it prepared.
It's like a show. It's like a real show.
That's right. Yeah, like in the real shows, magically the ingredient that you needed comes up. So I added the beef. It's beef mixed with the onions, and I will do what Magali did. So I'm gonna take my finger, put it in a little bowl with just water at room temperature, and I'm going to pass my finger through half of it like that, and then I'm just gonna fold it and pinch it to make sure that the dough really seals like that. And I'll show you how I do these. The beef ones are not cooked standing like this, but rather they're cooked on the side, like flat, laying down like this flat. So the way I do it, let me see if I can show you how I do this. So I take my index finger and I put it in there and then press like this. I fold and press, fold and press. fold and press. This is the way that my mom taught me how to do it. So I fold and press like that, and until I'm
Do you want to hold it?
all the way. No, it's good. Like this. So for the beef ones, what I want to do is get the dough. I'm going to lay them flat to cook like this with this facing up. So what I do as I make them is I actually lay them face down on a plate as I'm making the rest, so that the dough that is going to be placed on the parchment paper dries a little bit and it doesn't stick to it. So as I'm making them, I lay them like that, okay? Then, that's okay.
All right.
I have my cameraman here helping. And then you just keep going. I have to add though that this can be a fun social activity to do. I can see John and his wife cooking there together. Yeah. We're cooking together. You can, it's really something that you know, lends itself to, you can be doing something else, watching TV, if that's what you fancy. But you keep doing it. So you add, I have a spoon that is, let me show you. This is the size, it's kind of like a big dessert spoon. It's bigger than a teaspoon, smaller than a soup, like a tablespoon. So it's in between. And I add about a spoonful and a half to make them. So there I am, second one, pressing so that it seals really well. I did the half with the water inside, and then I'm folding. Let me see if you can see my fingers from the back. So like that, see? Fold and press, fold and press, like that. This one doesn't look too good, but I mean, this is the back of it. So I'm gonna lay them like this, face down, so that this part dries a little bit. So I'm gonna cook them like that.
I do have a question as well.
Also, sometimes, you know, when the pastry is cold, it's easier to actually, you know, fold it and close it. When it starts getting warmer, it's elastic, so it will give you more trouble. So normally you can go pretty quick on the 12, but know that by the end, those are gonna be more warmer.
Right.
So don't wait, you know, to take them out until you're really, they have to be thawed, but then don't leave them out on the counter for a long time, because it will bring you more trouble.
This one actually looks pretty, look.
That look.
Show that again. That was beautiful.
Thank you. It takes practice, but you can get there. So you can just, sometimes I remember, and I do the water first. So half of it, so half a circle, that's where it's gonna stick. Okay, that's how you wet it. And then just get the beef. I get it right in the middle. Okay. And then I fold, I have too much filling here. Then I fold it like this, and then I press first. That's the first thing I do. Press like that, so that it really seals. And then I do I don't know how to show this. So this is what my back finger is doing. And then this is what my front finger is doing. This one is pushing. Okay. The thumb is pushing there, and then the so the middle finger is holding it in the back. I don't want to show from the back right now, right?
Be careful with Argentina, that's fine, but over here you may solve.
So I'm folding, and because I'm showing it, now it's kind of like getting messed up a little.
In my case, I actually mine is kind of swirling. It's not pushing. It's more like, you know, when you swirl, the same, but I just kind of maybe like this. You see it. Just push it in and swirl, like when you make a ribbon.
So when we put this up on video, up on the website, maybe we'll have to add some music because it's such a beautiful art that you're creating.
Oh my God. You're thinking editing. So I'm gonna put them in the oven. Maybe.
Okay.
But one little thing I do that actually helps at least the cheese for sure is that I brush them with some egg on top. And so it gives like that shine also, but I am just, you know, painting them with the pastry will seal a little bit more those maybe holes that they are still open. And so I just brush them with egg. I don't know if Laura does the same with her. It's just normally you don't have to, it's just a preference.
I guess you're gonna warm them a little bit cheese and exploding.
Yeah, so here's the thing, if I find the puff pastry dough, I don't, because it's already, I mean, you'll see it gets such a beautiful shine when you actually find that one. When they don't have it and they have the other variety that is for frying or baking, then the egg is good because it's going to add that shine that you would normally get with a puff pastry. I think there was a question in the chat about whether they're always savory. They're not.
No.
You can really add anything inside. The dough is versatile enough that it's not salty or it's not sweet. So you can add other things inside.
So one random thought I just recalled last week, and you had some leftover pulled pork.
Oh, that's right.
And you made pulled pork empanadas.
That's right.
And Eastern North Carolina empanada.
That's right.
Done that, but it's not savory, and it's something very common in Argentina is this, that is membrillo, is what is the name? Quince,
Uh-huh.
and it's a paste. It's a paste, and so people would put it inside, and it just, you know, gets also, when it's warm, it just melts a little bit, and it's kind of like a pastry. It's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to think about the filling has to be something that will not come out. Like if you put, I don't know,
Something super
peanut butter inside.
No.
As you're cooking it, it's going to melt and probably make a mess in the oven. So it's going to be something that will hold its consistency that you fill them with.
Well, also the pastry will not have enough time to seal, and it will just start coming out.
That's right. Yeah. I think I'm going to make.
Okay, I'm going to put them, and we cross the fingers.
Yeah. I'm going to make some. I have my browned onions here. And what I'm going to do is just mix the onions with cheese.
That's a very popular variety.
Yeah, that is it's a very popular variety back home. And what I did for my cheeses here, you can do any cheese that you like. Mozzarella is fine. I have the thick cut mozzarella. And so it will hold its consistency a little better for the ones with onions. And I mixed it with Parmesan cheese to get a little bit of a kick to it. I'm just gonna mix that together. And then if you want to season, you can add anything that you like. I don't add salt to these because they have the Parmesan cheese and it's already salty enough, but you can add maybe a little bit of garlic powder if that's something that you like. You can add ground pepper for sure. You can add, I don't know, what else? Oregano, yeah, that's right. You can add oregano to them too.
Basil.
Yeah. So I'm mixing my cheese with my caramelized onions there. I'm gonna add an egg that I have here so that when they're cooking, it's gonna help homogenize the filling, and hopefully it's gonna help the cheese to stay inside the
Yeah,
the
all
pastry.
the ones that have cheese, it's good to put some egg inside too. Kind of like cheese.
Empanadas, so the cheese doesn't come out.
Yeah. And as I'm making them, because these have cheese inside, you'll see it's the same technique that Magali was using for the ham and cheese ones. We're not gonna lay them flat on the side, but we're gonna kind of like get them standing like a dumpling as they cook, so that it helps keep that closing at the top, and hopefully the cheese will stay inside. I think I saw some familiar names connected, and I know that some of you have enjoyed my empanadas. Some have looked pretty and some have not. But if they taste good, they taste good, right? Who cares if they don't look that pretty when they come out of the oven? I'm not gonna name names. I don't know if you're still connected, but yeah.
Sometimes, you know, when I was, for example, I used to live in Pittsburgh, and I didn't find empanadas. I used, you can get, you know, the puff pastry like this one, or like the pie crust. You can buy this. Actually, we get this at Harry's Theater, and they come in a roll. So what I used to do for years was just to cut them in pieces, make a little ball and extend it, and make the empanadas with that. You kind of, you know, make the as much as you can, the circle from the little bowl you make, and then, and it's a different taste. It's a little sweeter maybe, but it's as good as with the empanadas, because sometimes you will not find the you know, like a place like Tropicana, but you can still make it. There's recipes to make the empanadas dough, but it's just easier to go and get it. But it's a shortcut, and it's pretty cool. You can use it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. I have a friend from Peru that actually does that, because she doesn't sometimes find the dough, and she just uses regular pie crust and she just cuts it.
Yep.
So this is a cheese and onion one, and I do, let's see, where do I put my, okay, like that. I do a little pinch.
And Laura is neater.
I'm pushing again with my middle finger. I am so sorry. I'm going to show them on the side. And then I'm pushing with my middle finger and then pinching with my thumb and my index like that.
Yeah.
Pushing from the back with the middle finger and then pinching in the front like that. Like that. So it's going to look like this. And I'm going to sit it like that in the oven so that all the closing is on the top. These, the ones made with cheese, you want to close like that and sit them like this. Okay. To make the dough get a little bit drier on the bottom, like I did with the beef ones, I'm going to lay them like this upside down so that this part, which is the one that will be touching the parchment paper, is going to dry a little bit. It's not going to stick to it.
So the beef you lay down flat, and the cheese you put vertically kind of in there.
Yeah. So in the oven, these will be cooking like this with that on the side, and these will be cooking like this
So
with that on the
basically,
top.
the more the ingredient may melt,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you want it to be away from the, you know, the repulgue or the closing. So you want it kind of to seat and make like that little case. So mine are in the oven, see, standing.
Mm-hmm.
So they will eventually come out. You'll see.
Magali, do you use a little fork to like punch little holes on each side for those?
No, I did not, because normally in my case there's normally some little cold that it will come out, or when it's cooking and the dough is opening. Just so I don't know, but again,
For the beef ones, you don't either?
Nope.
Okay.
Not usually. I might try, because the thing is that sometimes my meat, I like it with more juices instead of they are not on the dry side. So if I do that, it starts coming out, and then it's too soupy.
It makes a little bit of a mess, but they still taste good, right?
Yeah, no, that is not a problem. But that's the reason why I don't pinch mine, because I like them inside with more juice than others. It depends. And then all the meat ones, pork, full pork, like Mauro was saying, or we lay them flat normally. Chicken, the minced meat. But the others, you can lay them flat, but it's just kind of naturally will expand and try to open the dough more.
Yeah. So while we do this, I want to know who else is cooking with us. I know I can see, yes, you guys are cooking. Is anybody else cooking, actually doing this with us as we go? Oh, Lisa is cooking, all right.
Lisa, you're cooking, cool. Anita, are you cooking?
All right.
Who else is here?
Almitra's in the office, okay.
I know, okay. We'll bring you tomorrow one if you want.
If you're there tomorrow, we'll bring some in, yeah.
She's on my side, so I can bring you one. Okay, I'll give you one.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I had gone to Villa Verde and had empanadas when I found out that you guys were doing this. And I noticed one of the things about those is that they had like little salt crystals on the outside of them that was kind of yummy. What was that about? Do you have any idea? Like maybe it was an egg bath with some kosher salt sprinkled on the outside?
I normally, so when you put the egg wash and you can put those crystals, you can also put some sugar. And that is, with the meat empanadas sometimes have raisins inside. You can actually add that. It's different parts of Argentina, for example, have their own ways. And you can put raisins. And normally the ones that have raisins, you make the egg wash and you put just a little tiny sugar on top. But you could even put sesame seeds or poppy seeds, and it's just fine. It's like a bread. So try it out, because it's actually pretty fun. It's a different texture, right?
Yeah. My grandmother used to make the beef ones with
The sugar.
the sugar.
I liked
Yes,
it.
I
My
love
mom
them.
didn't. Yeah, my mom didn't. And so in my house, normally they were not. But then I would eat at my grandma's house, and then she would put them. Bye. Bye. Yeah.
My son is sitting behind camera trying to eat all the ones that I already cooked to show you later. We have to.
Well, I didn't have time to pre-cook, so I'm betting on those being okay.
On those, see how they come out.
Don't judge me.
Megan, we can't see what the ones that you're making. Can you show us like what your product?
Well, those are still,
They look really good.
So they are puffing up and getting dry. So we still have to wait until it browns, so that it gets, cooked and brown. But I don't take them. The longer you wait, the more probability to explode. So
Right.
just want to have them brown as, to get them out. So you guys are suffering with us. So we'll see. We'll take you through the steps.
What's the pre-cooked temperature for the beef? The preheat oven? Is it 325?
75, right?
375.
Yeah, I do 375 convect though, Lisa.
Thank you.
Mhm. Let us see how yours are coming out.
Right?
No, John, I want to see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. All right.
Oh, nice.
look at
Pretty
that.
good. Now also, no, we prefer the oven,
Almost dumped them on the floor.
pretty cool.
Good. Yeah.
When you put them in the oven, you want to kind of space them out a little bit more.
Okay.
So just give a couple of inches. So, you know, you can actually put them however you like, but I would. Otherwise, if, you know, you have some liquid coming out, it will touch the other one. And so what you want is to get them dry and cooked.
Yeah.
Now, Villaverde, did they fry them or it was oven? The ones you guys went or tried? Because, you know, you can fry them too. Normally we don't, or the most common, at least in Buenos Aires, is to have them baked.
Baked. Yeah.
But in the north, for example, there's a lot of fried ones.
So should I experiment with one in a deep fryer just in case, or do you think I should bake them all?
What kind of dough did you buy?
Baking,
Well,
the baking kind.
Just baking.
Does it just say baking or does it say baking or frying?
Baking, it says baking.
Yeah, just bake them.
Just bake.
Okay.
Would fry, but then it would be like too hard, I think. It would, you know, get like.
That's good. Yeah. Now it's getting done with the other beef.
Well, some of mine are exploding.
Is there a
Here's
wine recommendation for going with empanadas or going with cooking empanadas?
Well, if we want to keep the Argentinian theme, I would say Malbec,
Okay.
right? But
But Cabernet too, it would be good. Definitely, I would say red wine though.
some people actually cook them, so they bake them and then they freeze them baked. So that's something that you can do. Like, we don't like to refreeze if the dough is raw, right, Magali? I mean,
Yeah,
no, in my house, we don't have time to freeze any because we're gonna eat them. but some people do.
yeah. Or if you make a party, let's say it's pretty common to make this for birthdays or stuff like that, and you have leftovers, you just freeze them. Once you change the state of the dough, it's fine, right?
Yeah. So what I'm making now, I had some, for lack of a better word, like shredded turkey that I put in my processor for a little bit. And I'm gonna use, this is what I had in the fridge, mozzarella and provolone. So this is what I'm gonna use to mix it with. Because I have going back to Bill's question about what do you do with leftover dough? I have some dough that I haven't used. I used up all my filling. So I'm just gonna literally grab whatever I had in there and I'm gonna make some extras with that.
Laura, I have another question for you. It's Bill. So you use with the smoked paprika. So that sounds like it's important to use the smoked version. Do you get that at Tropicana, or you can just, because I know that there's different kinds like Mexican oregano and Greek oregano. So is there a special smoked paprika you use, or would any old brand be fine?
I think any brand would be fine. The last one that I got, I actually found, I think at TJ Maxx or Marshall's or one of those, and it's Spanish. It's Spanish paprika.
Okay.
Can you grab, it comes in a can.
Yeah, mine too, but
It's on
mine
the
is
door.
Hungarian.
Look up. There.
Mine is Hungarian.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I got it also at
In Spanish, they would call it pimentón, not paprika.
So this is one that I have.
But pretty much anyone would work,
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember where I got it, but I think it's either TJ Maxx. You know how sometimes they sell foreign or international food?
Sure.
They randomly have things like that. So if you find Spanish smoked paprika and you're thinking what,
Pimentón.
yeah, pimentón is the name. And you wonder, what am I gonna use this for? Remember your beef empanadas. It goes well with them. All right, Magali, I'm excited to see yours. Come out of the oven and see how.
I am getting some out.
All right,
So here they are.
okay. Oh, they look great.
Along
So
mentioned
that-
the light hand trick to prevent.
She
Oh, she did it already.
Out. So in any case, this is, you can get them a little darker, but you know, that is good. It's cooked well on the side. And this one, as you can see, it just opened up a little bit, but it's not too much damage.
They look really good. I wish I cooked along. I want to eat them.
We can bring some tomorrow. Tell us where we made you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave a little bit more of the others to get them a little browner. Just, it's the question of taste. Sorry, I need to open my door.
It's 5:55.
Yeah, this is one of the beef ones that I made earlier. And I did pierce them a little bit, but because it had the beef juices, see, sometimes they don't look that great. So it has some of the beef juice that kind of like spilled out.
I think it gives a rustic look.
It does give it a rustic look. Yeah, I just pierce them with the tiniest fork you have.
How long do you cook the beef ones? And it's at 375, correct?
Convect at 375 in my oven, 30 minutes.
Okay, and then do you cook it on the parchment or straight on a cookie sheet?
I place them on parchment.
Okay.
If you were to put it in a cookie sheet, you have to actually put, you know, like
Grease it.
spray or butter, and then dust it with flour. So it has to have like some, otherwise they really stick. And
Yeah.
you will getting out this whole thing without the base.
Yeah.
It has happened.
It's happened, yeah. Not to us, right? No. Ooh, okay. Let's not say. All right, that's my oven reaching the temperature. We can put those in if you want. This one ready to go. Just place them separate.
And these are beef or cheese? How much?
The ones these are onions and cheese. So place them
So
standing.
place them
Yeah,
standing
place them
up.
standing.
So I kind of decided to take them out. I don't, you know, you can leave them a little bit browner. I just, you know, to get them a little bit more, but they are good, and you just wait a little bit to eat, or you will burn yourself.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
melted cheese, so you.
Yeah. The filling gets hot.
And the other 6 are beef, huh?
The other 6 are beef. But yeah, it's just a matter of cooking the dough. So if you cook pies or anything else in your oven, you can kind of like play with the temperature and the length of time that you use, because like the ones that Magali make, the ham and cheese, all that is cooked. The ones that I'm making right now with the beef, that's pre-cooked. The onions are pre-sauteed for the cheese and onion, and for the ones with beef, where I mix the onions in with the beef. So it's really about cooking the dough. That's all. You're safe with the filling being pre-cooked.
And you know, as a troubleshooting, the one that opened the worst in my case is the one that I just made with a fork. It didn't close as much, and then it gave more opportunity to open. So if you do it with a fork, I would just fold it again, you know, and make a double.
30 minutes, right?
What?
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, Mauri's setting the timer for 30 minutes. Yeah, so guess what we're having for dinner tonight?
Dinner or lunch tomorrow?
Dinner and lunch tomorrow, and probably Almitra, Lisa, and other people in the office might want to stop by and get a couple. I think John and his family, okay, you guys are having empanadas for dinner as well.
So everyone from
All right, I think we are at 5:59. I mean, we're gonna keep cooking. I'm gonna finish off my filling and my,
You should show the
My
finished
pastry.
product, like, you know,
Yeah, we
like,
did.
like the shows.
yeah, Magali showed hers. I'm gonna show you, okay.
You don't. Oh,
Gotta
it's
show
the
you.
final version. They're very good. Oh, look
My
at it.
tray-
That's it. Look. Wow.
My tray is a big empanada,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna show you like that.
Did you get that at TJ Maxx?
No, I got it back home, yeah.
That's so cool, actually. I want one.
I know, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they had something like that at TJ Maxx. I mean, look at these beautiful bowls. This one and this one, they are from Spain. And I got those at TJ Maxx. So you might get lucky.
I feel like this cooking show has been sponsored by TJ Maxx.
I know, right? No affiliation there.
Yeah, it's okay. But you have to just wait a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna give you that one.
I think there was a comment in the chat, Almitra. I saw it pop up for a minute and I didn't see the whole message, but I think it had something to do with always wanting to learn how to cook them. So there you go.
Carla's gonna eat the exploded one.
Okay. Those are the best.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's still there and they are still good.
Yeah, they taste the same, whether they look great or not.
It's hot, yeah. Really hot.
All right, I don't know, Bill, Erin, I don't know how we're doing. I see that some people are leaving, but I see some that are still there, so. I don't know what do you want to do? We'll keep going.
Yes, okay, go ahead and keep going. And if people need to leave, they can. I think only one person's left, so.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So I guess one last, story or anecdote. So empanadas back home are a pretty big deal, to the point where, just like you have Subway over here, you have entire chains that all they sell are empanadas. So you can basically get them by the dozen. And yeah, what I wanted to show, and I'm not sure if it's gonna look right or not, but basically they'll sell 30 different flavors. So the way they are closed, that's how you identify which flavor is which, and you'll literally get a guide that shows you which what each flavor looks like. So let's see if you can. So each different flavor is closed in a different way. So
Also,
and that's super common back home.
also it's pretty common to add some olives cut. You didn't do that, Laura.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty common to just, you know, slice or mince some green onions and mix it in the meat. Like I said before, some people just put also raisins in there, a couple, not too many, but just you find those little sweet and salty.
Even boiled eggs, like people
Yes.
cut boiled eggs really small and add that to them as well. The beef ones, the ones with green olives or raisins or boiled egg are the beef ones. Yeah, people make them too.
I actually used to, but my kid doesn't like it, so I just put the meat and then, you know,
Yeah,
and
that's
very fine the onion, or she will not eat it. So
yeah.
those things you adapt, but it's mostly anything.
Yeah.
So I
same.
would also give a plug for tomorrow night, same time. Sambuddha Banerjee, who is here, one of our visitors tonight, will be cooking. Will be taking your place tomorrow night. It's an Indian dish. Sambuddha, I don't know if you're there or able to unmute your microphone.
What is a ridged gourd?
What will you be making tomorrow night?
You have to go to the Indian store for that. The Indian store is on Memorial. It's let me quickly Google it and send a link for
That
that.
would be great because
And the poppy seed, it's not the baking poppy seed. It has to be the white poppy seed. 1 second, you can only get that in the Indian store. Let me find those two and send the link.
Also, there was a spice like a
Panch Poron. Once everything you have to.
yeah,
I don't get commission from them. I actually don't like that store, but unfortunately I have to go there to get Indian
So
spices.
you can just take your ingredient list to the store and have them help us with it, right?
Yes.
I just found it with the link or just with the address and everything. So
Okay,
So yeah, that's the
That's
place, and I'll send you how the ridge gourd looks like.
Has it been the Indian store? Has it been there for a while or is it new?
So when I moved here in 2017, back then it was behind Cracker Barrel. It used to be really small.
Okay.
And now it's bigger. Now they have charts, which is, they also sell food there, like cooked food. Yeah, it's just bigger now.
Yeah, for a while I was trying to find one, and I don't know, for some reason I was sent, you know, on internet on a place that it was just a very small market, and I'm excited to go check.
And then on Thursday, Nicole Ianneri, who was here earlier, and I don't think she's here still, she'll be making an Italian dish. Yeah, her ingredient list is probably more
Garlic,
common.
lots of garlic.
Can be found at most grocery stores.
I'll do a shameless plug though for with the one Indian store, because I go there and I pick up and shop there, maybe once every couple of weeks. But they also have stuff from China, South Korea, as well as the Caribbean. So they have it's just not exclusively Indian merchandise. So they have a few other things as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and I just put the link for ridge gourd. I think that's called the loofah gourd. I think because you make loofah from the skin. If you dry it out, you can find that in Amazon. Actually, I did not know that Amazon sells it.
Is there anything we need to pre-cook or anything for tomorrow's dinner?
Yeah, did I say I'm just making the gourd and coffee, or I said I will make something with egg as well? I don't remember what I said.
The gourd poppy.
Okay,
That was
so no,
the,
then no, it's
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
I think there was a comment in the chat that popped up for a second. And it was about related to a variety of empanadas made in India. I don't know if somebody, I can't seem to find the chat. Can somebody read it? It sounded so interesting. And Almitra responded to it and I didn't see what the whole comment was.
It was me. I was just saying that my grandmother used to make, if it's triangle, we call it samosa or shingara.
Yeah,
In my part of
samosas,
India,
yeah.
we don't call it samosa, we call it shingara. But my grandmother would make the same shape. And if it was filled with fish or meat, she called it pierogi. Sometimes she would fill it with sweetened dried coconut, deep fry that dough and put it in syrup. So it's a desert, so it's a winter thing, harvest festival thing, which is in January. So yeah, it's like this form of food is everywhere in every culture. That's the interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that Polish in Poland they make the same, but it's steamed, I think.
You mean the pierogi?
Yeah, pierogies are
That
steamed,
is
right?
new. Yeah,
They're-
they're steamed.
they're
Or
boiled.
Boiled.
So
boiled.
yeah, because the pierogies are, they boil, but then what you can do is then finish them off in a pan to brown them with a little bit of butter. And a lot of times with the Polish versions, well, there are many, but onions and potatoes are very popular
Yeah.
to put in
And
the
it was really
pierogies.
always interesting for me because the Bengali name is pierogi and the Polish is pierogi. So I'm like, I don't know how did we get that, but they're very similar word as well.
Sure, and they're both delicious, of course.
Yeah.
So one question, can you get the pagodas in that store, or is there any brand that you can, I love them, and then, you know, sometimes I see them and, you know, unless you go to have my brands somewhere, but I cannot find them here. Sometimes I found, you know, I try to find them in Fresh Market, but is there any brand that you would recommend that is, I think they are frozen sometimes?
Well, the Polish version, that they sell that at Lidl. So if you go to Lidl for pierogies, for the Polish version, which the like potatoes or onions and but I've seen that there and I've gotten them when whatever that brand is pretty good. So
Yeah,
it's just following the instructions, and it's in the frozen food part section of Lidl.
I'll try. And then for the your empanadas, the Indian empanadas, you're muted, I think. Sorry.
I am a food snob. If I want to eat it, I make it.
You do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you're lucky, you know how to do it.
Yeah, and I hear this year my mother is here with me, so I'm fat and eating all the time.
I know. I have many Indian friends, and they, you know, it's amazing, and then it's hard to compare.
But what we can, John, maybe you can do a shopping trip, grocery store shopping trip to Raleigh, the international market. That's really for all international newcomers. It's a good like networking event. It's something which we all will appreciate. Good food.
So you can get your stuff.
That's right. That's we could do a I guess we usually have 15 passenger van, so we wouldn't be able to do a huge crowd, but
yeah.
So in any case, I left them a little bit more in the oven, and now they came out, brown, kind of toasted. But there was not too much damage.
Oh, they look so good.
They look so good.
But that they look shiny because of that wash also.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it would, it's made. and
Made
it's-
for TV.
Yeah. So Laura, now you have to put them in the oven.
They're cooking. They've been going
Uh-huh.
for
15.
15 minutes. Mhm. We'll see.
You're cooking all of them or the meat only?
I put in 6 and 6 because I have 6 cheese and onion, mozzarella and onion, and 6 beef that I put in there. And here beside me, I have the rest. I have some ham and cheese and some onion and cheese. And now I have more filling because Mauro finished making the filling with the beef. So now I have to get another pack out of the freezer and make some more.
Also, you know what? You can prepare the like Laura did or you guys did, and you can freeze the filling and make it for, let's say you want to cook ahead, and you can freeze it, and then at the time that you're gonna have a party or whatever you want to have it, you just throw it and you use that quicker.
Yeah.
Well, that looks great, everybody. I'm so hungry. I'm going to have to go and get something to eat. But thank you for everybody who is here. I'll be here tomorrow night because I want to find out how to cook with the Indian dish that sounds really, really good. So anyway, everybody have a great night.
Take care. Good night.
Thanks, John and Megan and everyone. And that looks awesome. I know what I'm going to make. Like I said, seriously, this weekend, I'm going to go to Tropicana and look for the Goya brand and then go from there. I do want to try, I think, with the ham and cheese. I got to be honest with you. I think that's going to be my first attempt, but I'll let you know how it goes. And then Laura, I was trying to watch how you were crimping with that. It looks like it takes some practice.
It does. I mean, it takes practice.
It's an art.
Mauro says here, it's an art. My mom taught me how to do it, but with more practice, the more you make, the better you get at it. So
good.
don't
Oh,
wait
and
to make them.
good. And Lisa, thank you. You know what? I live right near that supermarket right on Charles. I know exactly where you mean. So I can probably check there then. That's closer. That's only like about 2 miles away from my house instead of going over the river. So that's good to know. With the supermercado.
Is that La Ranchera or Rancherita? Is that
Yes, that's the restaurant's right there, right on Charles. It's right.
Do they have the dough there? The crust?
Yeah, it looks like that Lisa found it there.
Oh, cool. All right.
I've never been there, so we should try it because it's
Oh,
close
that's
to
a
my
good
house.
place.
In the freezer. Okay, great.
Yeah, and I'll just give a shameless plug for that place. On the weekends, they have, they in the back they have a butcher, so they have all kinds of
Cups.
stuff back there, but they have a butcher in the back. But on the weekends, though, that you can go and they have with pork that's already been made that you can just buy by the pound. So they have with prepared stuff. So if you go there, but you need to go there early. And they also make their own tortillas, or they have somebody who makes them. So you buy that. So they have the tortillas already warm in the cooler up front. So if you get there early enough, you can buy their tortillas. I don't know if they make them there, but there's somebody in the area that makes them, and their tortillas are really, really good. So it's not going to a prepackaged place. So that's a good place to go.
We should try it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
great.
Yep.
I go to Tropicana and cross the street.
Oh, no, go there, because they may have some stuff there that that you may not be able to get at Tropicana, but also, like I said, they have a butcher in the back
Cool.
that does a nice job. All right, everybody.
All
I'll
right,
see you
great.
tomorrow.
We're gonna head out as well, and ours will be ready here in about 5 minutes. So we're excited.
All
We'll
right.
see everyone later. Thank you so much for your time tonight and for demonstrating your skills. And
All
hope
right.
we'll see you later in the week.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Absolutely awesome.
Bye.
It was great. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.